Did you see the sugar diet going viral earlier this year?
Yeah, I know Mark Bell was
Yeah,
really into that.
Wait,
Unlimited sugar, restricted protein, ever be a good thing? What is the good about it?
It's literally, I swear I was paying attention when he said, I was like, there's no way you're saying to eat candy. And it's not just candy, but
I thought he was fucking around.
No, it's like fruit, but he's like, if candy's all you got, it's not the worst thing.
But it's low protein, right?
Yeah, it's like
shout out to young Jamie. Thanks for coming through there, buddy. And pulling up information on the sugar diet. And yeah, Rogan's a little confused about it. He and I have talked about it a little bit, as much as Joe Rogan, browses through his DM messages and listens to me, which is probably not that much. But I know he watches some stuff. He comments back every once in a while, a little bit here and there. But yeah, I did tell him. I told him about it. I told him what it is. I told him it is protein restriction. Protein. Let's just talk about protein restriction for a second here. So reducing protein, I think, makes a lot of sense. Restricting protein for days on end and stuff, I don't think makes sense. I think that is a mistake that I made in doing the sugar diet. And it's not even really so much a mistake as it was an experiment. And in my experimentation, I found out that that's not the best usage of the sugar diet. The best usage of the sugar diet may be to kind of do it every other day. I laid out some information about that a few times, about talking about doing it every other day, and or just doing it intermittently, as I mentioned in the beginning of this show, doing like an intermittent sugar fast for 14 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours, and then breaking it with lean meat and some starch. Now, lean meat, I think, is going to be critical to that piece, because you don't want to be eating a high-fat diet along with the sugar diet. And that's something to really keep in mind. And as that woman was mentioning earlier about how she said that she was, consuming candy. Again, keep in mind, it's candy without sugar. Start trying to do the sugar diet and you're eating ice cream. It's not going to work the same way. But anyway, back to the protein restriction. When I was posting some stuff up saying that I had 100 grams of protein or 80 grams of protein in a day, there were some physicians and some doctor people that I'm friends with, and they messaged me and they're like, it's interesting that you say 80 to 100 grams of protein in a day is low protein. And that's something to keep in mind. Like, this high protein movement is a newer thing, and it's a huge craze in America. And you got Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, who recently was on the Today Show. Congrats to her. She's incredible. She's amazing. I'm not sure when that airs or if she was on today, but I know she was on there talking about the slingshot push-up. So she's a good friend, and I appreciate her doing that. She's amazing. And she talks a lot about protein, and it's because people's macros have been effed up for a long time. People have been consuming in this country. When you think about America, we think about apple pie, cheeseburgers, and pizza, and hot dogs. Those are all foods with horrible macros. Horrible. You're off the team. You're off the team type macros. Those are like, you never eat those foods. In fact, a friend of mine asked me yesterday, when's the last time you had a cheeseburger? And I just froze. I'm like, I don't know. Were you looking up some of the stats here, Ryan?
Yeah, for hot dog, it is 180 calories, 5 to 7 grams of protein, 13 to 16 grams of fat, 1 to 2 grams of carbohydrates.
Yeah, and that's probably just in a little weenie. So if you have, you get one of those brats at a baseball game or something like that. Like, that's really America, right? You get one of those things at a baseball game, and it's got the grilled onions and stuff on it. And the onions are, everything is like fried or sauteed in like extra sauces, right? Even at nice restaurants, I noticed, like, even things like steak and stuff, it's frustrating for me, because I feel like I know what good high quality food is. I lived a life that has afforded me to be able to handle and to be able to pay for some expensive meat over the years, and to go to some nice restaurants. Now, when you go to a real top tier restaurant, they're not going to put some creamy sauce on your steak, because those fancy restaurants, they're not selling you meat that's on its way out. When you go to a lot of restaurants and they're serving you all these dishes, these fish dishes, along with these steak dishes and so on. This is a little bit of a rant. They're going to come with sauces on them. And those sauces are because the meat's old. The meat is outran its time. It should have been thrown away probably a day or two ago, but they're still serving it because maybe no one ordered that particular cut or that particular. I'm being dead serious. People would probably think I'm like full of shit. That is why. And then same thing with like your burgers and stuff. And I can tell I'm so fat, or was so fat, that I could tell. I can taste it. I can taste that. I think it's called umami type flavor. I can taste that. That's like an aging process. But it's not supposed to be aged. There's a difference when you do it on purpose versus when it happens just because something has been lying around for too long. So we don't anyway, back to, this question of like, hey, when's the last time you had a cheeseburger? Last time I had a cheeseburger is when I cooked for myself. I made it at my own home. I bought a pretzel bun from Nugget Market. I was like, it was just like one day I was just like, I just feel like having a cheeseburger. Cooked up 85-15 grass-fed, grass-finished lean ground beef. Made a couple patties. Ate one burger with one bun with cheese on it, and it was big and it was awesome. I even put a little bit of mayo and ketchup and mustard and pickles and onions, and it was awesome. I ate the hell out of that thing. And then I ate another burger just a cheeseburger without a bun. So that's the last time I did that. But I did that because I know 1,000%, I'm 1,000% sure that I can make something so much better than what they have at McDonald's, and so much better. I have better ingredients. They can't even come close to maybe the flavor. I understand you get addicted to that exact flavor profile, but I don't need that exact flavor profile. As long as I get close, and as long as it's staying within range of some of my goals, and I'm fired up and excited about it. But anyway, back to this thing about the low protein
amount of protein. There's a video of him explaining it if you want to watch that.
So he weighs 95 kilograms, which is, what is that, like 225 pounds?
Yeah, the video I just saw, he said he was like 207, 210. He was going to get under 200.
Does he have a face? Can we see his face?
Oh, he's a handsome guy. Good looking guy. But it doesn't work with him because he's really fit, and he's been doing a bunch of different.
Joe Rogan said I'm handsome. We gotta take that to the bank. I mean, Joe Rogan, he interviews a lot of people. He talks to a lot of people, and hey, I'll take I'll take the compliment. Let's keep it rolling.
And stuff his whole life.
My
like
face
he was
is
carnivore
fucked up on
diet
that
for a
shit.
long time. It's not.
No, dude. See the deep sunken lines? That's sugar.
He's like 50 years old. No, this is the new thing. Like
Okay.
he was always like this. This is what he looked like forever. And he used to be gigantic.
You know what pisses
He used
me
to
off?
be like
If this
a
was a
power
woman,
lifter.
we'd be like, that's anorexia. Because when I told people I was only eating sugar, they were like, that's anorexia.
Hold on, show what he looks like, Jamie. Show
You can pause
go
it. Yep, that's what it is. It's the sugar diet kind of does make you feel a little anorexic when you're doing it. You're like, what am I doing? It's definitely bizarre. Just to go over what the sugar diet is, I guess I should have started with that, huh? The sugar diet is when you are eating fruit juice. You can also have maple syrup, honey, sugar, and it's not the worst thing in the world to have candy if that's kind of all you got. I started doing it a while back, and a meal would basically look at like I would eat, I don't know, an orange and a banana. I'd have like an orange and a banana, and then like maybe say for lunch I'd have like a smoothie. And when I was doing it for like days on end, then I might have several smoothies for the day. I might eat some dates and some grapes and a lot of blueberries. I might make a fruit bowl, stuff like that. But you want to be kind of conscious of like not mixing too many different fruits all at one time. It can kind of bloat you up and stuff. So it was definitely weird. It's definitely a weird diet. Eating straight up candy was fun. Sour Patch Kids and stuff like that here and there. They were never a meal though. That would usually be surrounding a workout before or after a training session. And that makes up the sugar diet. Like that's what it is. And I think if it was called like fruit fast or fruit diet, I don't think anyone would really care, because I know that there's people who've been doing fruit till noon for a long time. But the basics of it are, intermittent fasting was pretty popular. Intermittent fasting seemed to have some efficacy, seemed to do pretty well for some people. And this is just like next evolution of it almost. It's like, well, rather than like actually totally fasting, why not just have a little bit of energy and have some energy in the way of carbohydrates? This way your metabolism doesn't slow down. That's why the sugar diet exists, is because normal fasting can potentially slow down your metabolism, and eating large amounts of fat can potentially slow down your metabolism. Not eating any carbohydrates can potentially slow down your metabolism. So why not eat some carbohydrates, not eat any fat, give yourself some good energy, because we know that there's an energy flux. We know that there's a relationship between the energy in and the energy out. If there's not much energy coming in, there's not going to be as much energy wanting to go out. I do realize that sometimes people feel pretty good. They feel pretty fired up when they're fasting. And that's interesting. It's interesting that the body kind of turns on all these. But again, what Jay Feldman and Mike Fave, who I think I hold in high regard, these guys are saying, hey, that your body's doing some of this stuff in response to it being stressed out. And if we diminish the protein for too long, we're going to run out of luck as well. And you're going to turn on too many, you're probably going to turn on too many hormones that are considered stress hormones. And again, when you're trying to lose weight, we're primarily trying to lose fat. Okay. We understand that some muscle might come with it, but we're trying to mainly just lose fat. And we're trying to do so in a way that we still maintain strength. We still maintain like an ability to kick some ass in the gym. And if we're just doing that for too long, if we're sugar fasting for too long, you probably just start to fade away and not feel as strong as you need to. And that way, and then in that way, your output is going to be massively compromised.